Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m. It is the 3rd of December. It is also starting the fresh month here, leading up to Christmas and those end-of-year celebrations, of course. We're going to look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press over the last couple of days. We'll also go into the comment section, check out what viewers have been saying in the channel's comment section, and also into the live stream chat here towards the end of the video, around the 18-19 minute mark of today's video, into that chat section, to see what's happening there. So if you are watching the live stream today, say hello in the chat section. If you're watching after the fact, the comment section is the place for you. Now, straight into the news, and Spain's controversial new Big Brother style data collection system launched yesterday, not successfully, and as we can see here, Spain's Big Brother tourist platform, crashes on day one. The Ministry of the Interior's new SES Hospedajes platform, dubbed the Big Brother system for tourists, suffered a complete collapse on its first day of operation. According to the Travel Agency Association, a cave, technical failures plagued the system throughout Monday, preventing the input of data. In a statement, a cave criticised the platform as part of an already chaotic process, pointing out that travel agencies are now forced to work with at least 3 different platforms depending on where services are provided. These platforms, a cave added, are riddled with significant technical errors. The project has faced heavy criticism since its approval due to the vast amount of personal information required about tourists. Hotels must now provide 43 pieces of data about both their establishments and guests. Private holiday rental hosts must submit over 40 details, car rental companies 64, and travel agencies must share information about their clients, the hotels they stay in, and any rental vehicles booked through them. So not a good day yesterday when this new platform was launched, crashing. I think the government now says, or the Interior Ministry says, that it's up and running, but it makes me think that if it crashes on the first day of operation due to technical problems, is the data being stalled in the back end of this system really safe? That is the question, because I don't trust the government personally when it comes to technology. That's just me, but hey, you might have a different opinion. So not a good start for this platform, and complicating the lives of especially people working in hotels, people that have tourist accommodation here in this country, car rental companies, and also travel agencies, making their life more difficult, as I said. Second piece of news today, and an update on the Valencia flood damage situation. The person in charge of the operation to rebuild that part of Valencia making headlines yesterday. And as we can see here, ex-General Gan Pampol states an ordinary alert plan could have saved lives and will prioritize employment in reconstruction of Valencia. Francisco José Gan Pampols, the newly appointed second vice president and minister for economic and social recovery, following the devastating Dana that struck parts of Valencia, outlined the main objectives of his department during the first press conference on Monday. His focus will be on reconstruction, addressing 3 key tasks: drafting a framework plan with sector-specific strategies, enhancing prevention measures against future disasters, which he considers inevitable, and ensuring coordination within the Generalitat and with other administrations to manage post-emergency efforts. Gan Pampols emphasized 2 primary priorities: supporting affected individuals and revitalizing the economy and employment. He stressed that once these plans are implemented, his role will be complete, and he intends to inform President Carlos Mazón of his decision to step down whenever this reconstruction, of course, comes to an end. And one thing that caught my attention in this article here, enhancing prevention measures against future disasters, which this person considers inevitable in that part of Spain and other regions in Spain that suffer this type of severe weather condition, the Dana. So former general, I think he was a lieutenant general, Mr. Gampan getting to work trying to rebuild the devastation or the devastated areas down there in the Valencian community. So we'll see how long it takes. And I don't think anybody has put a time frame on this rebuild. Third piece of news here now, and it's been a record year in Spain for immigrant arrivals, with December still to come. 56,976 people in 2024, 41,425 in the Canary Islands alone. With 1 month left in the year, Spain's current migration crisis has already surpassed the record levels of 2023, the year with the highest number of arrivals, and the Cayuco crisis of 2006, which saw 31,678 arrivals. From January to November 2024, a total of 56,976 people have arrived in Spanish territory, marking a 12.7% increase compared to the same period last year, and 124 more than the total recorded in 2023. The Canary Islands continue to bear the brunt of the influx, accounting for 72.7% of all arrivals in 2024. Every fortnight, the Ministry of the Interior releases the official data on the number of immigrants entering Spain by sea and land. Yet again, those arriving via cayucos or wooden boats and crossing the Mediterranean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean represent 95.9% of all individuals reaching European soil through Spain from January to November 2024. So this problem continues for the government, how to deal with these illegal arrivals, people coming from Africa on the cayucos, as they are called, these old wooden boats that sometimes don't make it at all, let's be honest. And the Spanish government's still trying to work out exactly what to do when it comes to immigration and how to stop the flow of these people arriving here illegally, which, as we know, can create huge political tensions in some parts of the country. And some political parties, of course, take advantage of that. Next piece of news here, and Spain is considering raising the minimum social media age for minors following Australia's lead. We've got your back. This is the firm message from Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to parents across the country. Recently, the Senate approved the world's first law banning social media for under 16s, aiming to protect them from cyberbullying and improve their mental health. The Australian government is recognising this as a public health issue rather than solely a private or family matter. Sociologist Santiago Pisonero explained to state broadcaster TVE. The new law introduces a category called age-restricted social media platforms, preventing anyone under 16, including current users, from accessing networks such as Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Snapchat, X, and TikTok. Platforms deemed low risk, like YouTube or WhatsApp, are exempt. The responsibility to enforce these restrictions will fall on the social media companies, while the Australian E-Safety Commission will oversee regulations and implement reasonable measures to restrict access. That's what's happening in Australia, and Spain looks set to follow the policy of Australian Prime Minister and his government, Mr. Anthony Albanese. Good luck with that, and we'll see if it is successful in Australia, trying to keep youngsters off social media, potentially damaging social media platforms like the ones that we saw there, X, Snapchat, TikTok and the like. YouTube, luckily, exempt, as we saw. That means that my views at least won't be affected, but I don't really think my audience is under the age of 16, let's be honest. So we'll see what happens in Spain and if it does or not follow Australia's lead with this ban. Time will tell. And the final piece of news, one of the strangest pieces of news that I've seen for a long time, this one here. A Briton buys a mansion in Cadiz and discovers he shares a kitchen with two families. A woman turned up with her dog, he said. Stephen Najda, a 67-year-old Briton, believed he had found his dream home in the charming town of Arcos de la Frontera, Cádiz. During a visit, he was captivated by the Casa Palacio del Conde de Águila, a historic mansion in the heart of the town. Without hesitation, he decided to purchase half of the ground floor for €135,000. However, what seemed like the start of a promising new chapter quickly turned into a surreal experience. Just days after moving in, Najda was taken aback to find unfamiliar people in his kitchen. One morning, a woman turned up with her dog. When I asked her what she was doing, I discovered that 2 other properties had doors with direct access to my kitchen, he explained to the British newspaper, the Daily Mail. So as I said, a very strange story there. A person from the United Kingdom of Britain buys a mansion in Cardiff, or at least part of the mansion, for €135,000, realizes that in the kitchen there's a couple of extra doors, doesn't really pay much attention to them, and then walks in one morning to make a coffee and finds a woman sitting at the table with her dog. A surreal experience, and one that I find hard to believe. So if Stephen or anybody that knows Stephen is watching these videos, ask him to get in contact with me, because I think that could be an interview in the making, that one there. A very strange situation. It just goes to show that maybe your dream house here in Spain is not what it turns out to be. So thanks for that. Now we'll go into the comment section. Let's take a look at what has been bubbling away in the said comment section. This one here from Ray. Do the new rules on tourist registration apply if you are a Spanish resident booking into a hotel? Ray, the simple answer to that question is yes. Everybody who goes into accommodation, everybody who uses a travel agency here in Spain, everybody who rents a car, no matter what their nationality, will be subject to these new data collecting regulations. As we'll see in another comment here in a moment, I don't think it's necessarily the guest that's going to be having to spend more time handing over data, but the hotels trying to put it into this new system. They're going to get the data from your ID cards, your passports, and all of those things, perhaps ask some extra questions, but all of that data will then have to be put into this new system by, as I said, the people working in this industry, and that's where the complaints are coming from. Another one here from Moggs. Listening today, Monday, on Catch Up, I emailed the hotel we will be staying at over Christmas regarding what information documentation they required due to the new thing coming in. I received a reply to say only my ID is required, so maybe some are covering more just in case. We are both resident, hubby and I. Thanks for all your updates, and especially the food blogs. Thanks for that, Moggs. Glad that you like the food vlogs. A lot of people seem to be liking them, and there's more on the way this week, or at least one more, because I think I released one yesterday. But interesting about that the hotel that you have booked into for Christmas, over Christmas, didn't really ask for much more information. So, as I said, a lot of that extra information that the government is requiring will be handed over by the hotels, like, for example, your credit card details, the card holder details, and all of those things like that, which the hotels have. If you pay by credit card, of course, the hotels have that information. The difference is now, apparently, that the government also wants that information on their files, in their data collection units, I imagine, and that's some of the risks, and that's where some of the risks that could possibly arise will come from. Another one here from Raise Your World. The only new travel details I agree with is the relationship to minors that you're traveling with full documentation if proof. Due to child trafficking, this is very necessary. Thanks for that, Raise Your World, and absolutely it is a change, of course. If you're traveling with kids, you're going to have to prove that, or you're going to have to prove your relationship to those children, whether you are the parents or whether they are a family member of yours. And I imagine that one of the reasons for this is what you pointed out there, the terrible problem of child trafficking, which unfortunately is still an issue and becoming more of an issue in some parts of the country, and of course with people coming to Spain, especially young women who are being forced into prostitution, maybe under the age of 18, and that's what we need to try to stop, let's be honest. Thanks. This one here from Duck. We travel from Lisbon to Seville pretty often to shop at Costco and Carrefour. We usually book a hotel or Airbnb and stay a few days. From now on, we'll just stay on the Portugal side of the border in VRSA. Not sure what VSRA is there, but I think it's a town in Portugal on the border with Spain, Villarreal or something like that, probably, or Villarreal or something. Maybe, I don't know. Villarreal de San something, I imagine is what it is. Please correct me if I'm wrong there, Randy. Let me know. And yeah, interesting that you guys travel from Lisbon to Seville just to go to Costco, spend a couple of days in Seville, of course, and also to Carrefour. Is there no Costco in Portugal? Surprising. Maybe there's a business opportunity for that chain there. I don't know. But yeah, putting in a few kilometers in the car, indeed, traveling all that way to do the shopping. But thanks, Randy, for your input there. Another one here from Julia. All the information someone needs to steal your entire identity and money all stored on a system that anyone can access from a screen in a hotel that may not be that security savvy. I bet organized criminals are rubbing their hands. Ironic. Yeah, I imagine some criminals are rubbing their hands with glee, Julia, with all of this fresh information available for their pickings, all of those hackers and computer experts that can access these systems, no matter how strict the level of security is. We know that these data breaches are happening every day of the week to companies, to private individuals, to government organizations. So it's a serious problem, and yeah, it could be a very, very rich reward for hackers if they could get into that information. Although I'm not an expert on the topic, it does sound a little bit worrying. Thanks, Julia. Another one here from Martin. You have recently mentioned about squatters. I understand that Spain's Congress has just dropped a bombshell that promises to evict occupas faster. Understand that it has passed through Congress and is now awaiting for seal of approval. This would make it a fast tracking offence. Yes, I suppose it's early days, but at least something is happening. Thanks, Martin, for this. I did look into this because I didn't see anything in the news, or nothing stood out in the news for me. So I did investigate, and it does seem that a bill was passed last week in the Parliament, a bill that was brought to the table by the opposition party, I know maybe by the Basque Nationalist Party, the PNV, and it got the support of the opposition parties, PP and Vox, and got over the line without the support of the government and other coalition partners. And it is apparently a squatter eviction express, where you can go through the system, and I think 48 to 72 hours, I think that's the time frame that has been set, rather than the 4 to 6 months that is currently in place should people occupy your home and you want to get them out legally, of course. So if this is successful, we know that the justice system here is another kettle of fish, so we'll see. But in theory, it should be the Ocupa, or getting rid of the Ocupas in a faster way, which will benefit a lot of people, no doubt, a lot of homeowners in this country. But as I mentioned, without the support apparently of the main government parties. Sumar and the PSOE. And the final one here from Manuel. Both dishes are eaten with more bread. Thanks, Manuel, for the tip. But I try to avoid bread if I can, especially when it comes to dipping it into sauces and things like that after a big meal. I don't mind having a sandwich or a roll or something like that on its own, but after a big meal like I had the other day, dipping bread into that sauce, a little bit too much, and I want to try and keep my weight down, given the fact that I am going to restaurants more frequently, filming these videos, and I've seen other food vloggers on the internet stack on the kilos after 6 months or so. So that is what I'm trying to avoid. And it's going to be very noticeable, let's be honest, if I do put on 5 or 10 kilos. Everybody will see the change. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. But as I said, not easy when there is such a temptation on the table, like, for example, nice bread. So thanks for the tip, Manuel, but I'll stay away for the bread just for now, especially lots of it. Maybe a little bit I'll dip into the sauce, but that's about it. Now into the chat section I'm going to go. Before I do, I have to change the backdrop. This photo was sent in by Jose Luis, And it's a picture that he took in A Coruña, up there in the north of Spain, in Galicia. And another magnificent photo that captures all of the colours that you see over the seas here, the oceans here, the Atlantic Ocean in this case, and the Torre de Hércules, I think that is called, a Roman construction that still stands today that overlooks the city of A Coruña. And a great photo, I will say. So thank you very much, Jose Luis, for sending that one through. And if anybody has a similar picture or any picture of Spain that you would like to see on the backdrop, it can be one like this, it can be a mountain shot, a town shot, a restaurant shot, whatever you want to send me that highlights Spain in an image. The address is this one here, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send them through. The like icon is also on the screen for people that haven't hit it yet. We're currently sitting at 69. Good number for some, 70 now, so we've broken the 69 barrier. 70 is what we're sitting at currently. So if you haven't hit the like icon yet and you would like to do so, just below the video you will find the button, the like button, and we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today. 74, 75, 76, there we go. So hit that like button please if you can. Now, for people that have supported the channel in recent times, a word of thanks. People that have bought me a coffee the other day, Jerry and Sandra. I think that's Sandra I've written down. Jerry and Sandra bought me 3 coffees. Thank you very much for that. Super thanks here on the YouTube, live stream, super chat. Also, you can support the channel. Longer term supporters on Patreon. Thank you very much for that support. And channel members of this YouTube channel, you can also become a member. Thank you very much for people that have joined. Now, into the chat section I'm going to go now. I'm just going to open it up here. I think I saw a super chat, so I'll just try and find that. One here from Marcus, regular contributor to the channel, of course, not only economically speaking, but also with information that he sends me. Yesterday, for example, he sent me one about Murcia. Can't remember exactly what the topic was, but it was interesting nonetheless. I'll see if I can remember. Mark is saying here that public IT projects are notoriously bad worldwide. Horizon system for UK Post Office, but the DGT site for paying speeding fines works great. So there we go. Probably a reason for that, Marcus, as we know. And if I can remember what that article was about that you sent me yesterday, I will mention it, because let me see if I can find it here quickly in my emails from Marcus. Bear with me. There we go. Mafia gangs and the trying to get your mafia gangs have apparently put bots into the systems here to get appointments to renew your residency, and they're making they're having a field day and making an absolute packet, ripping people off with these things. So thanks, Marcus, for that info. So into the chat, let's see what's going on. Andrew is the first person that I can see here coming in from a cold, wet and dark London southeast. Good to see you, Andrew, valued member, of course. Cal coming in from Barcelona, a bit cold there today. The opposite here in Madrid. It was a warmish day, I would say, after the morning fog, or at least where I am. The sun came out and it was a pleasant day. Sunny coming in from Basingstoke. Good evening, everyone. Hoping we are well. Thanks for that. Amanda's also in the chat, regular viewer. Hoping everyone's having a good week. Thanks, Amanda, for that. John coming in, valued member, coming in from the UK, I believe. Yesterday's food review looked delicious, and what a bargain. Cheers, John. Yeah, $11.50 is a bargain for the quality of the food. The first courses are always very, very good. They're those spoon dishes, which are one of my favourite, of course. I mentioned that yesterday. The second courses, yeah, a little bit hit and miss, but occasionally you can get a good second course. But the firsts, fantastic. Janet coming in from Oxford, valued member 2. Good to see you, Janet. Hope you are well. Walter coming in from Boca Raton, Florida. Hola, Stu, waiting for another entertaining episode. Thanks, Walter. Hope you are enjoying. Renan coming in from Los Angeles. Recently in Spain was Renan. James and Kathy coming in from a chilly but dry Worcester. Went Christmas shopping and had lunch in our favourite restaurant. Very tasty, but not as cheap as Spain. No, that's one of the big complaints, that food prices not as cheap as here. And Worcester, hope the rains have the water levels have gone down, subsided, and things getting back to normal thereafter. Was it last week's flooding? Let us know. Chrissy, evening Stuart, just made barbecue ribs at home, made a barbecue sauce plus wedges. Lovely. Sounds nice, Chrissy. It's a shame you're so far away. Otherwise, I'd be knocking on the door. Carmen coming in from Santa Monica, Los Angeles. Currently 17 degrees there. Sounds nice. Austin coming in from La Marina. Not sure exactly where that is, Austin. Is it? Let us know where it is exactly, La Marina. Richard coming in from North Yorkshire. Just got caught up. Stu, really enjoyed the last 2 food reviews. Great food, great value. I also love the videos with Mark. He's very clued up on Malaga. He's been living there for a long time, Richard. I think 22 years, owned a business, knows the ins and outs of Malaga, of course. Interesting guy. Erica coming in here from a greyish terraza, maximum 13 degrees Celsius there. How strange that a government platform has collapsed. Technical problems with official platforms are far too common, and the same disaster with Coles. Yeah, I think nobody is surprised that that system crashed. A lot of these government systems have bugs or bots, as we saw in the appointment systems, or they crash. Hike Ranger coming in from Tenerife in the middle of a 3-month holiday in the Canary Island. Thanks, Hike Ranger, for that. Hope all goes well and you enjoy. Johnny coming in. Wow, December already. Hello all. Good to see you, Johnny, valued member. Yusuf saying here, has the EU reacted to Spain's Big Brother tourist data collection decree? Seems like a GDPR violation. Not sure if they have spoken. The European Union tends to investigate these things, but we could be waiting 6 months to a year for any resolution there. They don't. They're not known for their speed. The European Union. Brian, enjoyed the food review yesterday. I had a bad experience with the tripe. I have had bad experience with tripe in the past. Had Mexican menudo back in Tucson, Arizona. Tasted horrible. It's very, very important to thoroughly wash the tripe before cooking it. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I'm not an expert on tripe. I've had it a few times over the last month or so to do these videos to show people the other side of Spanish food, not necessarily the dodgy tapas and dodgy paella, some of the other things that you can order on the restaurant menus here. But the two tripe dishes that I have had, very, very tasty, if you like that thing, of course. And judging from some of the comments, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but when in Rome, as they say. Chrissy, why do they want all the data open to scams and corruption? I wouldn't want to give it. Well, the government's reasoning apparently, Chrissy, is to stop organised crime. That's what they're trying to convince people why they need so much information. And also the existing systems, from what we saw the other day, are quite obsolete. One was set up in 1954 or something, and the other one back in the 70s. So they need to modernize these data collecting systems. I think that's the government's argument. So take it as you will. Sharon coming in from Mallorca, in Mallorca currently, from London. Nice to join you on Spanish time. Thanks for that, Sharon. Good to see you. Jay coming in from New York City. Good to see you also, Jay. Youngsters won't want that, taking away their freedom. No, they will not be happy with that at all, I can imagine. And as we've seen with other prohibitions, people find ways around it, and I'm sure a lot of youngsters nowadays are very tech savvy, and they're already working out ways in Australia, the youngsters in Australia, to get around these bans, because TikTok for some people is very important. I don't understand why, but for some people it is. Brian says he'll give tripe, he's willing to give tripe another go. You certainly sounded like you were enjoying the meal. Yeah, my recommendation, Brian, would be to eat tripe possibly somewhere that specializes in it. If you can, there's restaurants in the center of Spain that I know specialize in it, and also the way that they do it as well. So the two that I've seen, the two main ones that I've seen, Portugal also does good tripe, but it's with beans. I had it yesterday with chickpeas, and the one that I had a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago, there was no legumes or vegetables in it. It was only chorizo, morcilla, pancetta, as they call it here, and other parts of the other pork ingredients, I think. Carrie used to feed tripe to their dog, and she loved it. There we go, lucky dog. Not sure it was the same quality of tripe, I imagine. But anyway, what else we got going on here? I just explained about the data collection, so I won't do that again. Yusuf saying that the mansion story is pretty funny yet scary at the same time. Reminds me of the South Korean movie Parasite. Thanks for that. I haven't seen that movie, but I'll take your word for it. Gigi coming in. Thanks for the great food videos. Loving them. Yeah, thanks for watching them, Gigi. Knowing that you are, I think, a vegetarian. Maybe some of the dishes that I'm having, not really your cup of tea either. But as I said, I'm trying to find dishes that are not your average run-of-the-mill dishes, let's say. Barbara coming in from the Playa Flamenca, 21 degrees Celsius there. El Conquistador coming in from a chilly northeast Florida. Those are low illegal immigration numbers compared to the US. It's been out of control for a minute here. Thanks, El Conquistador. Well, as I've said on many an occasion, when you have one country with a reasonably strong economy that provides jobs, and then you've got countries where that is not the case, people are going to try and look for a better quality of life. And that's basically the main reason, I think. Kevin coming in here. Buenas tardes. Liking the food vlogs too. Had a menú del día in nearby Pueblo de Lillo, I think, in Leon, in a bar called Bar Madrid. Garbanzos con bacalao, carne guisado and flan, 15 euros including cafe and drink. So yeah, 15. I'm noticing that in a lot of the regional areas, for example, here Leon, in a pueblo near Leon, so not even in the capital city, Leon, you're paying 15 euros for a menu, which that's expensive compared to the fact that, well, comparing with what I paid, €11.50 and 12 last week. So prices are expensive in those parts of the country where you would think they would be cheaper. But anyway, not the case. Martin having a beer in Bewdley, is that it? Off to Poland tomorrow for 10 days. Martin gets around, I will say. Gets around. John coming in from John and James from San Diego, where it's nice, though slightly cool today. Good to see you guys. Hope you are enjoying your day so far. There's a petition also going around the UK about banning under 16s access to social media. I imagine it's going to happen in many places, Barbara. Australia was the first country to, I think, formalise it, bring it into law, but others no doubt will follow, considering some of the mental health risks associated with this type of content. Interesting to see that YouTube will escape this ban in Australia, at least. I think the type of content that they're talking about, short form content, and I'm not an expert on TikTok, but from what I've seen my son using it and other people using it, it's just constant videos just coming through every 10 seconds, and I can see that it does create issues for the youth of today. Barbara tried tripe for the first time the other day. The flavour of the stew was lovely, but I didn't like the texture of the tripe. Yeah, you got to get over that, Barbara. But the flavour of the stew, of course, the secret to the tripe, but it's not everybody's texture. Not everybody would like the texture, of course. Flutter Girl from Toronto, sunny in but only 2 degrees. Still processing the story of the man who had strangers in his kitchen. I'm sure he's still processing the fact as well. Apparently, from reading more of the story, he went to lawyers and he went to the local council to make sure that the kitchen was only his. No one else had access to the kitchen, because remember, he only bought part of the house, but it wasn't the case at the end of the day. So I don't know whether there was a mix-up or people didn't know what was going on, but I'm sure he's having a tough time sharing the kitchen at the moment, or maybe he's looking on the bright side and making friends at breakfast every morning. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Marcus saying here that Italy has just banned key boxes from Airbnb rentals. Great. The reason is national security. Hard to argue with. Yeah, I'm sure lots of regulation and changes will be forced upon these companies. I remember, even if I compare, my parents were here recently. If I compare it to one of the last times that they came, and we got accommodation on booking or whatever it was, and the owner of the house still greeted you at the door, gave you the keys, showed you around, maybe left a bottle of wine, or gave you a bottle of wine, said welcome, enjoy the home. Off they went. Everything was fantastic. And now it's a very cold experience. You just go there. There's like a keypad or some type of key box, and you don't see the owners at all sometimes with these accommodations. So the old concept of the B&B, and I know that Airbnb uses the word B&B, bed and breakfast, in their name, but the old bed and breakfast that I remember, traveling around the United Kingdom for a couple of years back in the day, the best part was that you got to meet the person who owned the home. It was like a family environment. You'd come in, sometimes you'd even share a living room. And that's completely gone nowadays with the modern key boxes and pins, keypads and things like that. Ian's saying here, so motorhomes, campers using unmanned, what's that? ADES, is that? Where you have to have a prepaid card that operates the gate barrier, and when you leave, charges by debiting that card, not a bank card. Not sure exactly what Ian's trying to say there, but thanks, Ian, for that. I'm sure other people will understand better than I. Liam, first time watching live, usually watch later. Do you start every evening at this time? Yes, every evening at the same time, 7:35 p.m. Have to be regular in this game, otherwise people have trouble to follow you. Water levels have gone down in Worcester. Thanks for that. Rising about 4 meters, so some serious flooding going on there. Virginia, hi Stu, originally from Australia, but originally from Arganda del Rey, which is literally 5 kilometers down the highway from where I am. Arganda del Rey. Thanks, Virginia. Hope you are enjoying time down there in Australia. And have you been back to Arganda recently? Let us know. Stephen coming in from a damp and chilly North London. Brad missed again, always cooking. Well, got to eat, Brad, got to eat. Excellent photo, says N194, valued member. Thank you very much, N. Robert's coming in from Coffs Harbour, Australia. So we've got some Aussie viewers here today. Good to see you guys. Dave, American viewer, Florida viewer coming in. Better late than never. Absolutely, Dave. Santa Monica is nice in California. Take your word for it. Greetings, says Antonio Garcia. Good to see you also, Antonio. James's grandfather used to eat tripe cooked in milk and nutmeg. He used to slurp down. Revolting. That's the experience that a lot of people have with tripe. In fact, my early experiences with tripe in my grandfather's kitchen in a small town in Western Australia, that is what it used to be. Tripe cooked in milk, and I'm telling you, as a kid, it was not a pleasant experience. Revolting would be the word that I would use as well. But the way they do tripe here and the way the Italians do tripe, the Portuguese, as I said, the way they do tripe as well, actually makes it quite appetizing in that stew, that slow-cooked stew with the other ingredients there as well. Antonio says the food videos are amazing. Thanks, Antonio. Like I said, I'm going to be putting them out because I enjoy doing them, and some of them have been well received, I will say. So thanks for that. Carmen's saying that you look rested today. Maybe it's the background glow. Possibly, Carmen. I had a busy day today in different parts of the Madrid community recording videos. Not sure when I'm going to have them ready, but hopefully soon. Madrid's enjoying some Florida weather. Yeah, I wouldn't say we've got Florida temperatures because today was only about 14 or 15. But if you were sitting out in the sun, which I was, it was warm. It was warm. Yusuf saying here, the problem with the social media ban for the youngsters is that they will flee to less regulated and more dangerous platforms such as Telegram. But at least some governments are doing something. Thanks, Yusuf, for that. Villarreal de San Antonio, or Villarreal de San Antonio is on the coastal border. Thank you very much. That's what we saw before from Randy, who moved to Portugal, 5 or 6 years ago, I think, from the States with his wife Brenda. And Julia, hi Stuart, WA. What does that mean? Does that mean, I don't know. If you can answer quickly, Julia, let us know what WA or WA means. Thanks for that. Now that's the end of the live stream today. Been going for a while, 40 minutes, about 5 or 6 minutes over my usual time. Somebody said the other day in a comment, 35 minutes to find out one piece of news, waste of time. Well, bad luck for you, my friend, because for some people it's a waste of time like yourself, but other people it's not, and that's what keeps me going. So for all of the people that have stuck around today, thank you very much for that. Another comment here that's come in quickly. We're meeting some Yorkshire tourists Thursday at a venta near Casares in Malaga province. Venta or a restaurant, I imagine. And WA, Western Australia, well, that's what it would have meant to me 30 years ago. The only thing that stands for in my life previously was Western Australia, WA, but not sure exactly what Julia was meaning there. So I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure as always. Back again on Thursday with another live stream, another video hopefully coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. More food videos at the end of the week, so get ready for those because I had an absolute doozy of a meal today. So make sure that you eat before watching that meal because you'll be left hungry. I'm going to say that. Back again on Thursday, as I said. Hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, bye-bye.